All right. Brakati Yahweh, Brakati Yahweh Shah, Brakati Yahweh, Brakati Yahweh Shah, Brakati Yahweh, Brakati Yahweh Shah, Kolo Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shah, Bahashim Rachaha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles, the great millstone who rule well, who teach well, where we learn his knowledge, wisdom, and truth from. This is Lakamakah Amaf, back with another quick one. And I was on social media, and hold on, let me get this backdrop. I like to play these chill beats while I'm doing my lesson. Give me 1 second. Turn that down to a place. But yeah. So this, if you see this picture, it shows Kodak Black, Kanye West, and Kendrick Lamar. And I don't want to play a video because I don't know about the infringement, copyright infringement. I don't know. But Kodak Black, he looked like he was very intoxicated off of most likely them pills he be on. But if you read it, it says Kodak Black says him, Kanye West, and Kendrick Lamar are the KKK because they are all woke and Jewish. And he didn't say he was Jewish, but he said he was a Jew. And if you know anything about these guys, these three men know they're Israelites. They know in their songs they speak on it. Kendrick on the album Damn spoke about it. I believe he had a cousin that was in the IUIC. He even says it in his song, don't call me, I'm an Israelite, don't call me black no more. He said that word is just a color, it ain't facts no more. I believe that's how he said it. It's been a minute since I heard that song. But Kodak also speaks on being an Israelite, and we know Kanye, he went on a lot of rants saying he can't be an anti S word because he is of Shemitic bloodline, And so even though they know who they are, they have the incorrect message. If you listen to their music, speaking of Kodak especially, what he's putting out there is not of Israelite cloth. Just because you say you're Israelite doesn't mean that everything's smooth now. You know what I mean? Let me get Romans 9:6. It says, where am I at? Romans 9:6. It says, I'll start at 5. Who are the fathers and whom, as concerning the flesh, Hamashiach came, who was over all, Yahweh blessed forever. Amen. It says, not as though the word of the Most High have taken none effect, for they are not all Israel, which are of Israel. So just because you say you're an Israelite or you're a Jew, hey, you gotta, once you know that information, you're supposed to maneuver a certain way. You know what I mean? You're supposed to take off the old man, try to become a better man in your walk of faith. You definitely ain't supposed to be getting all extra drugged out. And if anybody see this video, man, you could look just at Kodak's countenance. He was just all over the place, looking real demonic. He had demons all on him. Same as Kanye, when Kanye be snapping out, because they prescribe Kanye medicine, and he also messes with that DMT. I don't know if he's still doing it, but he spoke about that. Then DMT is a drug that it's a hallucinogen where, I don't really know the ins and outs, but from what I was told, when you take it, you go on this wild trip. But the high only lasts for a hot second. But while you're on that trip, it feels like it's for a very, very long time. You know what I mean? And Kendrick, as far as Kendrick, just me speaking as a man, I think him putting the information of him being Israelite, because he's not as radical as these two guys, but he's one of the top popular rappers in the game. I believe the powers that be shut him down because he doesn't speak of being an Israelite anymore. He just had that back and forth with Drake. So he's at the top of the limelight. And, as long as you talking to keep the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans down, then you could keep your little riches and stay on top. But if the powers that be tell you, hey, you can't rap about this, you can't speak about this, then you can't do it because that goes against their agenda. That's why they had NWA start gangster rap, because hip hop was about positivity at first. It was about waking your people up and don't be distracted. The song "Self Destruction" speaks for itself. But these people are going to play the game as long as they are, as long as they have their riches. And what does it say about store? Let me see if I go. I know it's in Matthew. Treasures in heaven. Hold up. Treasures in heaven. Yeah, Matthew 6:20. It says, but lay up. Oh, I'll start at 19. It's red letter, so it's Yahweh Shah speaking. It says, lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doeth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. And that's what all these popular celebrities are doing. They want their heaven and their kingdom and the riches now, right? It says, but lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doeth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. For where your treasure is, there will your heart also be. And these guys' hearts are in the world right now because they made it, so to speak. But if you're a true righteous Israelite, you're gonna put the work in righteously on this side, so you can have the riches in the kingdom of Israel, of Yasha Allah. Not that place that's gone at it with Palestine. I'm speaking of the kingdom of heaven for Israel. And that's when after the Lord comes back and cleanses the earth of all its wickedness, what I wanted to get was Matthew 15. Salakia. Matthew 15:8. It says, I'll start at 7. Ye hypocrites, well did Esaias prophesy of you, saying, this people draweth nigh unto me with their mouth, and honor me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. But in vain do they worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men. And that's what these people are doing. Yahweh Shah said, if you love me, feed my sheep. He also told people to drop, the rich man to drop everything and follow me. And these people are not going to follow Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. They could say they're an Israelite, they could say they're a Jew, they could pray to the Lord, and in the correct name, but if their hearts is not really sincerely trying to seek Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, all that goes null and void. They don't have the answers, because if they had the answers, they wouldn't let Edom Esau, the powers of the head tribe that run the music industry, tell them what to do. They wouldn't be in fear, because and I'll go, I seem to bring this out every lesson, but I just, I love the scripture because it's simple, It's not hard to be a follower of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. This is Proverbs 3:5. It says, trust in Yahweh Bashem Yahushua with all thy heart, and lean not unto thy own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. And these people are trying to lean unto their own understanding. They're not trying to let the Lord direct their paths, because if you are about your people, you wouldn't be speaking about crime, criminal. And Kanye really, Salakia. Kendrick really doesn't necessarily preach a bad message, but it's not benefiting our people, because sometimes he goes back to saying how he's black, even though he said he's not black, so, even though he's not as radical as Kodak and Kanye, his heart is here, he is of this world. And what does the scripture say about loving this world. So let's go to 1 John 2:15. It says, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. So, like I said, I brought out the scripture in Matthew. They honor me with their lips, but their heart is far away from me. This is what we see. And then you got Kodak. He has that Star of Remphren. A lot of people think that's the Star of David, but it's not. You know, he's swinging that, thinking that that means something. That doesn't mean anything, you know. So, this is the time wherein just because it's cool to be an Israelite now, so to speak, in the so-called black community, this thing is not a game. It's not for play. You're not just an Israelite when you're around your Israelite brothers. You're an Israelite 24/7. So the best thing to do if you want to obtain salvation is sincerely serve the Lord, not when it's convenient. Yeah, so I just wanted to bring them a couple scriptures out. Hope this was edifying. Till the next time, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rachaha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles, a great millstone, Kwame Yasha'Allah, Mawaf Ball. Shalom. Shalom.